We live? I have no way of knowing. So I guess I'm just gonna chat until people turn up, because this was like unannounced. Hi, Jared Garcia. Hi. I'm gonna turn my microphone up because by the looks of things, it's very quiet. Is that better for everyone? Let me know if my microphone's too loud or too quiet, or if it's just let me know. I'm good. Oh yeah, this is the Alert Squad. Hi, Alert Squad. Hi, Alert Squad. How are you doing? You doing good? You doing sexy? Let me know. Let me know how this is going. It's 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 my first time using this live stream camera option that YouTube has. So I don't know how this is gonna work. I'll be real with you. I'll let you in on that secret. I don't know how this is gonna work. So I'm just gonna like find the actual YouTube page so I can see how views and stuff is going. And then okay. I feel like this is the page. Okay, cool. Oh, thank you for the super question, Evil Otaku. I'm fine. I'm doing well. I might sound a bit different, but I'm fine. All is well. I'm gonna like wait for a little while before we get into like the meat of this. You know what's actually happening. To put it bluntly, what's going on in the title? There is an event that I am cosplaying Robin for, and it's a charity event. And I'm going to tell you guys the details because you guys can come and meet me at said event. And we'll get into that in a certain point. I don't know. If you're watching this like after I'm done, I'm sorry that you're probably going to have to watch for a while. I loved your individual history videos and the members of the Teen Titans. Thank you. It's been a while since I've been to one of your streams. It's been a while since I've been to one of my streams. You know what I mean. Thank you everyone for saying you love my videos. No, I was supposed to film today, but it's gone too late and I'm like exhausted now. Plus like, so I'll talk about it on here. For all of you that watch Masters and Creators, on Viewstar, which is my series on Viewstar, my next episode was supposed to be on Danganronpa because I've been doing like these creation specials. I've done influential video games and influential anime, and I was going to do the third one as a whole thing on Danganronpa. And as I was like writing this video, I was like I was doing this paragraph on why I love Danganronpa and like what I really liked about playing the first game. And I realized what I loved about the first game was the fact that I went into it totally blank. Like I didn't know what it was about. I had like a rough idea about kids killing each other, but like I didn't know more than that. I didn't know why they were killing each other. I didn't know if it was the kids in the box or if it was other kids. Like I didn't know what it was. So I went in and I was like, I can't make this documentary and not going to make this video. And so like I shuffled about Masters and Creators a bit, and the next one's on Steve Ditko. So hope you guys are looking forward to that. Evil Otaku, is it wrong that I hate Teen Titans Go for passion? I mean, everyone's allowed their opinions. I don't think it's that bad. I just want to say that you inspired me to make a Clarion cosplay. Well done, sir. You have done something that I've been putting off doing for several years now. Have you played Xenoblade Chronicles 2? Yes, I have. I've completed it twice. I want to get all the blades, but it just takes time. Have you played any games recently, or are you playing anything currently? Currently, I'm playing Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age, because I wasn't a huge fan of Final Fantasy 12 when it first came out. Now I'm replaying it. I like it more, but I wouldn't say it's like particularly good. I like it more though. What are your thoughts on Doomsday Clock? Guys, let's throw it out there for like the millionth time. I'm not reading Doomsday Clock. I'm not doing anything to do with Doomsday Clock. For me, in my realm of comic books, I believe that it is sacrilege to be using Watchmen characters in the DC universe. For me, that's like, what the fuck? And then for them to use like Promethea in the Justice League, for me, that's like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? Like what the actual hell? Like, you don't use Promethea in the fucking Justice League. That's no. Like, to do that means that they didn't even understand the very foundation of that character. They just went, that's a cool character, we're gonna use it. And then they didn't even let Alan Moore know that they were gonna use Promethea like that. Like, I know they don't have to legally, but they should. And especially like Promethea is a character Alan Moore made when he thought he'd finally escaped DC. Looks like he didn't escape DC because they fucking bought her out from under him. Like, the whole Promethea thing, like I was irritated at them using Watchmen, and I was like, fine, I won't support that. For all of you that follow me on Instagram, you know I was livid about them using Promethea. Cloak and Dagger's coming out. How do you feel about it? I'll be real with you. I don't really know much about Cloak and Dagger other than the time they appeared in Runaways, and Cloak and Dagger isn't like my area of Marvel at all. But you know, maybe the show will get me more into them, and I'll start like researching them and become like an expert on them within like 1 or 2 months. That's happened before. Back with Luke Cage, like I wasn't overly familiar with Luke Cage, like Jessica Jones stories in the comics, and then the show came out, and I was like, I need to research everything to do with this character, and thank God for Marvel Unlimited. What songs am I listening to currently? I am listening to Trampoline by Kira Kira Bonito and Fade Away by Hannah Diamond. Only Acting by Kara Bonito, but it's the radio edit of Only Acting, not like the actual version, because there's like this screaming at the end of the actual version that I'm like not a huge fan of, but I really like the radio edit version. Yes, Colorful Dragon, you have great taste in music. What would you say is your all-time favorite comic book series? The Young Avengers, definitely. If I had a superpower, what would it be? Being an actual biological woman? No. My superpower would probably be reality manipulation. I have a tendency, like even in this life, I have a tendency to sort of like make things happen. It doesn't always happen in the way I want them to, but I have a tendency to just sort of make things happen. Favorite X-Men run? Probably the new X-Men, Academy X. I love doing cosplay. I made an Enchantress costume for Comic-Con. Nice. Very nice. I love Enchantress. Favorite snacks? Right now I'm in a huge water kick. No. I love my favorite snack of all time is soft mints. There's probably like a pack of it around. They're not in America. This was a huge shock. If you don't know, I did 1 year of university in America, then got kicked out because I didn't get a scholarship for the following year, and I'm poor. So yeah, I did 1 year of university in America, and I was shocked to find out my favorite drink, which is Iron Brew, which if you're Scottish, you know, because you know, Scotland pride. Yeah, Iron Brew and my favorite snack or my favorite sweet is soft mints, but it's got to be the spearmint flavor. It can't be the peppermint flavor. It's got to be the spearmint flavor of soft mints. And they weren't in America. And then like one day when I was in San Francisco, I found like this British shop, and I was like, there is hope. And they had iron brew. They had iron brew. They didn't have the sugar-free option, and I prefer the sugar version. So I was like, I'll just buy a lot of that. And then I was like, okay, they've got to have soft mints, and they did have soft mints, but they only had the peppermint flavor. And I was like, what is this? What you stock peppermint, but not the spearmint flavor? But that's the superior flavor. What the hell? I was offended. Red Robin or the original Robin with the milky white thighs? Red Robin, definitely. Are you still going to do Steven Universe videos? Yeah. I probably will. I don't have any like theories on anything that's happening though. I don't know. I'm like a little bit frustrated with Steven Universe as a whole right now, but I definitely will do more videos. Do I like Björk? Yes, I do like Björk. What anime am I currently into? I'm into Black Clover and Ancient Mage's Bride. I really liked Ancient Mage's Bride. I really, really liked Ancient Mage's Bride. I was like sad. I'm like cosplaying over and completely. My opinion on Infinity War, you will have to watch tomorrow's video. Yes, I'm doing an Infinity War review. I got invited to an early press screening. My review is already written. It was supposed to be filmed today, but it got too late, so I'm filming it first thing tomorrow morning. I'm going to be waking up in like 5 or 6 hours to film it, so you should watch that when it's out. I started watching Holic because of you. Is there any more that you want to say? Is there anything more you wanted to say about it in your video? I do have an entire Clamp video coming out one of these days, or rather Clamp Multiverse. Basically, the idea that I have for this video is like still in its early phases, but it's comparing the DC multiverse to the Marvel multiverse to the Clamp multiverse, because I think these are 3 of the most well-executed multiverses in recent history, but they all have very different rules. Like Marvel's multiverse is like quite a traditional multiverse and surprising, and you know, it's just parallel universes. Whereas DC's one is like, you know, about different Earths vibrating at different frequencies, which is why they can't interact with each other. By the way, there's the source wall, so like the universe does have an edge, whereas in Marvel the universe is infinite. So like they're very different in that respect. And then Clamp's multiverse is all based around souls, so that's a thing. What do I think about Green Arrow? Like the character, hate the show. Yeah, like the character, hate the show. Opinions on Teen Titans live action. So they're not doing a Teen Titans live action. Let's get that out of the way. Let's clear it up before we start reading. It's a Titans live action. It's not Teen Titans, it's Titans. And you need to be very specific about that, because everyone's going to associate Teen Titans with being like a fun comedy like the cartoon. This is Titans because it's a drama. Let's throw that out of the way. Get it out of the way. Now, the casting of both Starfire and Raven, I have a huge issue with. So I've never spoken about this ever in one of my videos because I just thought it was like, oh, of course. But apparently I'm the only one that thinks this. Let's talk about Raven. Why is she white in the show? I've always thought she was like an Indian or Middle Eastern, like Caucasian. But in the comics, I thought she was just like Middle Eastern, but she was drawn with light skin. Like, I always thought that. And now she's white in the show, and I've been speaking to people about it. I'm like, you know, lots of people complaining about the racism around the Starfire casting, but no one's talking about Raven. And everyone kind of looked at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, because she's Middle Eastern in the comics. And apparently I'm the only one that thought that. Well, I see a few of you in the chat saying, I thought her mother was American. You can have Middle Eastern people living in America, or people of Middle Eastern descent. America is more than white people. But that's what I I don't know. I just always thought that. I just always thought that, and maybe I was very wrong. Um, as for the Starfire casting, I don't want to complain about it too much because I genuinely don't like the racism around it, and I kind of am happy that it's a black woman just to provoke these people that are being flat out racists that won't watch the show, because then it's like, it's like filtering out the racists from watching the show so I can enjoy it a bit more. This being said, if you look at Tamaran and compare it to Indonesia or Bali or, general Southeast Asia, compare Tamaran to Southeast Asia and like even the clothes they wear on Tamaran to traditional Southeast Asian clothing, Tamaran's very Asian. And I don't think they understood who Starfire was to get as far as to go, oh, Tamaran, is clearly based off of Southeast Asia. That being said, that one picture that's being shared around where she's like slouched over and is in that horrible dress is in the comics, but it was horrible in the comics too. So that's not anything to do with the actress. I'm sure the actress is going to do a wonderful job. I just don't think it's the best casting for the character. I definitely feel like it should have been an Asian person. But that being said, she could play the role wonderfully. And maybe this will be a completely different interpretation of Starfire. I do have issue where Hollywood has history of Hollywood has a history of erasing Asian actors, and I definitely feel like where in the source Tamaran was very Asian inspired, the actress should have been Asian, but she's not. So I don't know. Rather than making a cringy video complaining about it, like what happened with my Death Note video, I cringe at that now. But rather than making a cringy video complaining about it, I'm just going to sort of be like, okay, so this is a thing, and let's make the best of this situation. America's more than the US. When people say America, they're really just shortening the United States of America. They're not referring to the continent. If I want to talk about Canada, I'll say Canada. If I want to talk about Mexico, I'll say Mexico. People tend to refer to country. It's like when Americans call Europe when they're really talking about the European Union, not Europe. Do I like the Arrowverse? No. No. I thought that was something I was well known for. No, I do not like any of DC's live action stuff. They've yet to impress me, which is another thing. Like maybe Titans will impress me, but maybe that's another reason I'm not too bothered, because I'm like, oh, this wasn't going to impress me to begin with. I want it to, but it just won't. Okay. I feel like we've been going on for long enough now, so let's get onto the announcement, guys. This amazing, wonderful announcement. So my friend Aqua, who is a cosplayer, she's Aqua Cosplaying, and she's here to make it clear. Basically, she came to me and was like, hey, I'm doing this cosplay thing for charity for Orbital Comics on Free Comic Book Day. If you don't know, Free Comic Book Day is the first Saturday of every May every year. And she was like, I'm doing this cosplay thing where every year we cosplay comic characters, and it's a big thing. And 2 years ago, she cosplayed Storm for them, and she came to me and she was like, do you want to join? And I was like, yes, I want to cosplay Beast Boy. I will cosplay Beast Boy. This was like a few months ago. Turns out, can't cosplay Beast Boy. Someone else is already doing it, which sucks because I've already made the costume. But then Aqua and I got talking, and so now she's going to cosplay Starfire from the Teen Titans cartoon, and I'm going to cosplay Robin. And yeah, that's what's happening. The charity we're going to be raising money for is the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And so if you want to meet me while I'm cosplaying Robin and maybe donate to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, is if you want to meet me while I'm cosplaying and making money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, you just have to come on down and to Orbital Comics in London, and I'll be there cosplaying Robin. You might. I'm very like stressing. I'm the one cosplaying Robin because I'm gonna have like this big mask on it, and you might not recognize me. Look, it works in the comics, like, you know, cover up this part of the face and you don't recognize people. So yeah, come on down to Orbital Comics in London on Free Comic Book Day, and you could meet me while I'm wearing tights. It's to London just to see Faust. Please don't do that. I'll feel terrible. I should have scripted that. That was not very eloquent. I'm not very good at like announcements. But I'm going to Orbital. I don't know where it is yet, but I'll find my way. So Orbital Comics is literally around the corner from Forbidden Planet. But I say like where you can support like one-off local comic stores rather than chains, and Orbital's not a chain. So yeah, definitely come onto Orbital. I'm there, and I feel like I'm gonna be making a video of the making of my Robin cosplay, and I might vlog the day itself. I don't know. I'm definitely making the making of my Robin cosplay thing, and if that goes well, I'll start doing some more like comic book cosplay videos on this channel. I know a lot of you guys are a lot of you guys have said to me, like, you know, we like the cosplay thing, but you do anime and, you know, you're kind of a comic book channel. So yeah, I definitely want to do more sort of comic book cosplay related stuff. Yeah, lots of people don't realize like Orbital's right there. It's literally across the road from Leicester Square Station. Am I going to see the Venom movie? No. Venom is being made without Marvel's involvement, so I'm just kind of like, oh, that's going to be a train wreck. When has Sony ever made a good Spider-Man related movie? When? Okay, when post-Avengers? So you can really only count the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Were any of those good? The answer is no. Can you really trust Sony? No. Save your money. Wait till it's out on Blu-ray. Of course, if they invite me to the premiere or something, I'm totally going to go. Am I going to see Aquaman? No. DC's done the 3 strikes. I'm out rule. You know, I always say if you do movies that are so bad they offend me, I'm out. And they produced Batman vs. Superman. So bad I found it offensive. Man of Steel, so bad I found it offensive. And Suicide Squad, so bad I found it offensive. I eventually saw Justice League, and again, that was like 2 steps off of a dumpster fire. Like 2 steps off of a dumpster fire. Like it was mediocre at best. I don't get why people were like, DC did that. Yeah, they did that. So and Wonder Woman, like Wonder Woman was great, but I've seen it a million times. Like it follows a formula. So I'm people are like, oh, it's revolutionary, it's groundbreaking. It's like, well, if you take away the fact that she's a woman, no. So let's be real here. It's meh. It's not bad. Wonder Woman wasn't bad. It's just I've seen it before. So did it deserve the praise it got? In my opinion, no. I think the director's cut Batman vs. Superman raises it up a grade. I didn't watch that. That movie doesn't need to be longer than it is. Are you considering watching Shazam? I don't look at trailers, guys. I just see it's from DC at the moment, and I'm like, if DC produces a movie that at least gets a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, then I'll go. That's what a studio has to do to redeem themselves. Once they've like, they're out for me. Like they're out. I'm tired of seeing and reading the same comic stories. That's a personal problem. There's never a reason to read the same comic stories. You can read Snot Girl. That's totally new. The current Runaways comics doing something completely new. There's loads of stuff that you haven't seen before. Have I seen Ready Player One? No. I was gonna be like, yeah, I totally saw it my opening weekend, but then I was like, why lie fast? So no. Do I think Shazam will return to the comics now they have a movie in production? I hope so. I hope so too. But maybe. You never know. You never know. But you know, if the Runaways can return after their like hiatus from what, like 2009, maybe. What's my bedspread? It's Pikachu. When you write the Titans, do you have a lineup in mind? No. I kind of feel like a lineup should be based upon what people need at that time. And so if I were to write now, it's very different to what I would write in, say, 5 years' time, because society is going to be different and different characters are different symbols for different things. So at the moment, mental health is obviously a big thing. It's at the forefront of almost every conversation. And so Raven would be very important to have, as it's very important to mental health. You know, you have Starfire, who feels very foreign, so Robin in the team, because money is tight at the moment. You know, we're looking at another recession in the next few years, so it doesn't make sense to have someone who has disposable money on this team. You know, it's these things that are at the forefront of every conversation that I think you need to adjust your team to. And I feel like that's what's been missing from DC for me for the past few years. They write what sells, not what needs to be said. Rumors are circulating that DC is planning to bring Nightwing, Batgirl, and the Birds of Prey to the big screen. Do you think you can do it right, given the success of Wonder Woman? I mean, I wasn't a fan of Wonder Woman, so I don't know. I'm the wrong person to ask, Knox. How do I do comic special effect on YouTube? I have no idea what you're talking about. I work in Premiere and After Effects, and if I have something in mind that I want to make, I go from there. Will I be doing any more Korean webtoons? So maybe, maybe not. I would still like to do Killing Stalking Season 3. Leshin never contacted me about continuing our contract. So I don't have their permission to make more. So I don't know what I could do. And I don't want like this to come across as I won't do it unless I get money, because that's not the case at all. But I don't want to make something without permission. So once Killing Stalking Season 3 is finished and it comes out, if it comes out, I don't know if it's even going to be a thing. But once it's finished, if it ever is finished, I'll like message them and be like, hey, can I do Killing Stalking Season 3? And if they say, yeah, go for it, I will. If they want to sponsor that, great. But if they don't, I'll do it anyway. But for that situation, because I have worked with them on a very like intimate level in the past, I would want to get their opinions. Whereas Marvel and DC, like, I'm signed with the Disney Digital Network, so with Marvel, I just kind of go ahead and do whatever I want. And with DC, I'm apprehensive to do more recent stuff because I've never like worked with them on an intimate level, but I know they are aware of me. So I'm just sort of a bit like, okay, like the closest I've worked with DC is for their DC Fans channel, and I made a very good video for that channel. A very good video for that channel. But yeah, DC is for them on that channel, and it didn't even get paid for that. So I don't know. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is getting adapted to a Netflix series. Thoughts? I'm so excited. I am so like, you guys don't understand. Like, Archie isn't really a thing here in the UK. Like, it's just not. It's just not. But I loved Sabrina growing up. I would go out of my way to find Sabrina comics. You don't even understand. And Sabrina, I love, and I loved the show and I loved the comics, and they're very, very different. And then when they did the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, it was like so like turned that whole concept on its head. It was great. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. What do you think of Batman multiverse for the DCEU? Of course, they need a committed Batman, but they could still introduce Bat family members in their own movies. Well, what you're talking about is the Batman universe, not Batman multiverse. Batman multiverse would be like, you know, introducing multiple different Batmans. But no, they could like expand on the Batman section of the DCEU. I don't see a problem with that. What do you think about superhero movies? I don't count superhero movies as superhero movies. I look at a movie and I say, this is a movie. I won't hold it to a superhero movie standard because that holds something back. You know, you can't say, this would be bad for a regular movie, but for a superhero movie, it's ace. Because that allows people to get lazy. So, you know, you sort of have to go, that was a bad movie. That was a bad movie. Because Batman versus Superman, it's a flat out bad movie. But you hear people saying, oh yeah, but for a superhero movie, nothing. If it's a bad movie, it's a bad movie. Yeah. So what do I think of superhero movies? I like them a lot, but I don't really count superhero movies as superhero movies. Do I Fortnite? Fortnite isn't a verb, it means 2 weeks. Will I ever start to do Let's Plays or just live streams, Eric? No. I'm not a huge fan of live streaming, I'll be honest. I don't mind this because it's very casual. I set up my webcam, set up my microphone, done. But not the biggest fan. PS4, Xbox. I have a PS4. There are no games on the Xbox that particularly interest me, but apparently they're making Fable 4. But if that's on PC, then I'm like, I'll just get it on PC. Have I seen Infinity War? Yes. Did I wait for my review? I will say wait for my review on that one. Understand what you went through. If you wanted something good that's easy to understand. I don't care if movies aren't easy to understand. Genuinely don't care. Like I watch a lot of artistic movies. Alejandro Jodorowsky's The Holy Mountain. That's not easy to understand, but I love it. You know, I don't care if something's not easy to understand. I just want something that knows what it wants to be. Batman versus Superman didn't know what it wanted to be. It didn't have a plot, and the limited plot that was there was like, why though? There's a lot of PC pandering going on in the US. Is the same happening in your part of the world? I don't really agree with that statement, but let's not make things controversial. Ooh, Faust makes comics. I want to see. I don't make comics. Will I ever do the History of Superboy Part 3? Eventually. How long is my hair? This long. Do I have the God of War game? I've never played God of War in my life, so no. What is my favorite animated superhero show? Probably the Teen Titans. I really liked the Batman, though. I remember when you edited Amazing over repeating Orgasming Jinx to say that you were... I never used the Orgasming Jinx clip. I did use Amazing by High Fashion a lot. But I never did the Orgasming Jinx, I don't think. How's baby doing? I'm not really sure where he is right now. He's in the house, but he gets scared of my microphone. So that's how Baby's doing. He gets scared of microphones. Current Nightwing series is doing poorly. What would you do to fix it? More butt. And make Dick buy, because then people would start freaking out and would buy the comic. Have you read Frank Herbert's Dune? I heard Comic Girl 19 is bringing Dune Club back. Yeah, I did Dune Club last year. I joined her and everything, and I just did Watchmen Club. I was actually planning on doing weekly responses to Watchmen Club, but then Comic Book Girl basically said everything I was going to say. We have a lot of very similar opinions, and I thought on that might be the one thing we had different opinions on, and then we didn't. So then I was like, oh, okay. Have you seen any of the 50 Shades of Grey movies? No. Why would I put myself through that? My favorite super reality manipulation, because it opens up a lot of plot points. How do I feel about the current direction of the Teen Titans? Disappointed. Disappointed. Teen Titans used to be a book about social issues and social progress, and now they're too scared to do that out of being accused, and so the book has been turned into like a surface level bullshit thing. But if you ever, you can tell a comic reader versus a non-comic reader, because if you talk to a comic reader about the new Teen Titans, they will talk about the social issues brought up in it. They'll talk about how Bumblebee was one of the first Black female scientists in comics. They will, they'll bring up a lot of major things that the Titans did in the past, whereas, non-comic readers will be like, TEENTIDANS. Which Robin are you going to cosplay as? I'm going to be cosplaying Robin from the Teen Titans cartoon, which I just mocked. When am I coming to Argentina? Have a convention invite me. Message your local convention. Be like, I want to see Faust here. Guys, if you ever want me to come somewhere, just message your local conventions and tell them that you want me as a guest. It's the easiest way to get me into a certain place. Will I be watching season 3 of Young Justice? Probably. When will Disney buy DC? DC is owned by Time Warner, so probably never. Yeah, lots of people for some reason think DC is like independent. They're not. They're very much not. Fun fact, though, Marvel actually had the opportunity to buy DC in the 90s, and they didn't. Because it was, or was it the other way around? I think it might have been the other way around. Ooh, I'm getting that wrong. Or am I? And do I read comics from publishers like Image, Dark Horse, and Dynamite all the time? Do I keep reading Wayward? Yep. Have I heard about the new Warner Brothers amusement park that's open soon? I'm not a huge amusement park people. Like, I did Disney, but I was on a VIP tour. And I think I would only ever do an amusement park again if I was on a VIP tour. Because if you're not on a VIP, the sun's not good for you. Let's be real about it. The sun is not good. You can wear all the sunblock in the world. The sun is not good for you. And then you're around sweaty people. And then your friends are going to start irritating you by the end of the day because you've been on your feet all day and you're tired. And then you want to buy food. And you're like, wow, I just spent like $50 on like a hot dog. It's like, it's not a good time. It all stacks up. And I'm just like, a happiest place on earth, more like, I'm broke now. I sound like a really miserable person in this live stream, guys. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just going through a lot lately. See, I like the zoo. I like the zoo because there's like no lines and you get to see penguins. It's mostly the penguins. Do I think Donald Trump will eventually start World War III? With him starting shit with Kim and Vladimir Putin. You know, I just kind of feel like once civilian casualties in the West start happening, we'll start to acknowledge that we're already in World War III. That's how I kind of feel right now. I don't watch the news anymore. Like I've installed a plugin to like block the news on Facebook because I'm like, well, this is depressing. What do I think of the direction Marvel's going in? I don't think Marvel even knows the direction Marvel's going in right now. Cinematic Universe is doing a great job, and I love Marvel. Don't get me wrong, I love Marvel with all of my heart. And I always like fight for the underdog. I remember when everyone was hating on DC, I was like, I'm here for DC. I'm here for DC. Now everyone's hating on Marvel. I'm like, I'm here for Marvel because I'm always there for the underdog. And right now, I'm there for Marvel because I want them to find what they want to say again. You know, they were always the people that had society at the forefront, and they haven't been able to do that since they really lost the X-Men, since they weren't able to use the X-Men as much. And I feel like this Fox deal might just help them rekindle that X-Men flair. And either someone just blew their nose or my phone vibrated in a weird way. iPhone or Samsung? Well, I have an iPhone X, so it's flashing. Why are you flashing? When have Marvel and DC crossed over? Many times. Many times. My favorite crossover was New Teen Titans and X-Men. Chris Claremont's X-Men was actually some of my introduction into comics. What is my opinion of Spider-Man Homecoming? I have a whole video dedicated to that. I really liked the movie. I felt like Peter needed to face repercussions for his actions. You know, ironically, a character that's like that has the tagline "with great power comes great responsibility." He really didn't have to face much responsibility. If I could bring any character back into DC Rebirth, which character would you pick? I'd probably go for Connor Kent because it's like, where is he? Let's bring him back and make him gay with Tim, and they can have a book called Connor and Tim's Big Gay Book, where they run a convenience store and live out a happy life together. And it finishes when they die at an old age, very happy together. The end. Thoughts on Fantastic Four coming back? I mean, is anyone surprised? I'm not. Any big videos planned? I do have a big video planned, but I tend not to announce my big videos until they're nearly done. And I just started on it a few days ago. But I do have a big video planned. It's in the Marvel vein, I'll say that. And it should be similar length to my Dick Grayson video. No, I'm not going to say as long, but it should be similar length. But yeah. And no, it's not a Redux this time. It's a new character. I really like the Runaway story so far, and I'd like to hear your opinion on it. I have a video coming out on it in a few days. What's my favorite Grant Morrison book? Flex Mentallo. Flex Mentallo is like... Well, the Doom Patrol. The Doom Patrol's also... But Flex Mentallo comes from the Doom Patrol. So I'm very critical of the Doom Patrol right now, because I'm like, this ain't the Doom Patrol, you know, step aside, My Chemical Romance. You know, you were in an indie band a few years ago, okay, whatever, but it doesn't mean you understand the Doom Patrol. You know, when you were a young boy, your father took you into the city. We'll go back to that city and meet some weirdos because you don't get the Doom Patrol. Is it possible you could cover the Teen Titans? Is it possible you could cover the Teen Titans and X-Men crossover? Maybe. I didn't have a plan for it, but that's actually a very good idea. An entire history of Ilyana Rasputina video written. And I was gonna film it right. So as it was coming up to the release of the New Mutants movie, I was like, great, this is a great time for me to film this. Literally the day I finished writing it was the day they announced that they're putting off the release of the New Mutants. And I was like, crap. Because they put off that release about a month before it was supposed to be in theaters. So it was like, oh, this is fun. This is great for me. Am I the only one that hates Barry Allen Flash? I don't hate him. I just prefer Wally West. But I grew up with Wally West. You know, I was born in 96, so I don't really know anyone other than Wally West. So when Barry Allen came back for me, like, I obviously read comics that Barry had been in. But quite frankly, you know, Barry died in the 80s and comics weren't what they were. Like, comics had changed a lot by the time Barry came back. So it's the whole thing. I'm super excited for more of your videos. Never read a comic till I watched your videos and bought all the Teen Titans comics. Keep up. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. That was just for you. I don't think I've ever done that before in my life. But thank you. How do I think Infinity War will turn out? I have a video on it coming out this week. I've already seen the movie. I will say I did like the movie quite a lot. So, where's my badge? But I would get into the plot, but Thanos demands my silence. You can't read this because it's mirrored, but yeah, Thanos demanded my silence. So I'm just hands are tied. You gotta. He's got the gauntlet, and he demands. So I do. When did I get into comics? So let's tell this story again. I am heavily autistic. So I taught myself to read at the age of 2. Yeah. I was like taught the alphabet, and from there I taught myself to read. And I have 2 half brothers that are a little bit over 20 years older than me. And they were moving to New Zealand, and they had a big comic book collection. So, and they couldn't take it to New Zealand with them and their dad. So they were like, well, let's give it to the baby, because the baby won't want it. The baby did want it. And so from there, I got into, in that collection was like Chris Claremont's X-Men, the entire New Teen Titans and New Titans runs, because that had recently ended shortly after I was born. The entire New Titans run, Troll, Flex Mentallo. There was also like some Flash books in there, but I never really got into those as a kid. Crisis on Infinite Earths was in there. I'm trying to think of like everything that was in that collection. There was a lot, basically. There's a lot, and there's a lot that'll like be worth a lot now. Sandman #1 was in there. The Neil Gaiman Sandman, like, to this day really shaped how I like appreciate comics. So yeah. What are my thoughts on the Titans live action series? It's not out yet, and I've already spoke about the casting and why I'm like, I don't mind it as it is, but with Tamaran being based off of, very, very clearly being based off of Bali in Indonesia, Starfire should have been Asian. But I don't mind that she's black. But Hollywood has a history of like erasing Asian people from existence. So where my Asian Starfire at? And also, Starfire should be at least 6'4". I know it's difficult to find a 6'4" Asian woman with dark skin, but she's out there. So that's what she should have been. You're a down god genius. I'm not a genius. I just never doubt the skills of autistic children. That's what I'll say. As a kid, like, if I wanted something, I was gonna find a way to get it. Yeah. Age doesn't exist in comics, lol. So Batman's about 36. You always just have to go with your head canon. So in my mind, Batman's about 36. But then also in my mind, Dick Grayson's about 29. So I guess that doesn't make sense. So yeah, age doesn't make sense in comics. Peter Parker or Miles Morales? Miles Parker. 6'4", dark-skinned Asian woman. That's my new gender. Okay. Will I review The Invisibles? I did have a video written about it, but it was too weird. But I might revisit it because that was like 2015 when I wrote that. So I might revisit that. But usually if I fail a project, I tend not to pick it up again. But I might make an exception for The Invisibles. We'll see. It's not on my radar right now. I've got like a list of things on my phone that I want to cover. And once I make it through that list. But I'm going back to making 4 videos a week, ideally, starting June. So we'll see how I feel from there. Any live-action comic book shows, DC or Marvel, on any platform? Which would I... Oh, what would I have be made into a show, do you mean? Squirrel Girl should have her own show. And it should be on Netflix. And The New Warriors should have a show, but it should be shot like a mockumentary. New Warriors should have a show, but it should be shot like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, basically, or Kathy Griffin's My Life on the D-List. And it should be like a fake reality show set in the Marvel universe. That's what I want. And that should be like a high-key comedy. Is it possible for you to show your comic collection in the future? No. I've tried it. It makes for a terrible video. Because it's literally me going, this is a comic. You open it. Here are some pages falling out because I've read it too much. It goes back in this box. Here is another comic. It's not... People always think, like... Imagine MTV Cribs, but it's only with one item over and over and over again. That's not fun. What do I think of Shadowcat and Colossus getting married? I mean, it's a thing. What are your photos on that? I've spoken about the Titans show enough. Okay, guys, I guess that's us done. That was about 20 seconds of dead air there, unless it was only 5 seconds, but it was long enough of dead air to feel like 20 seconds. So I think this is where we're going to end it. We've been going for 55 minutes. I only intended for this to be 30. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, do all of my social links. Be sexy, be good to yourselves, and remember that you should always brush your teeth after a sugary drink. Bye.